Have you ever been in a situation where you try to start your car only to be met with complete silence? No familiar cranky noise of the starter engaging, just silence. This is known as a no crank, no start condition. Today, we'll go over the most common causes for this issue, and hopefully, this will help you identify what's wrong with your vehicle. The first and most common cause is an insufficient battery charge. If your car battery has insufficient charge or is completely and totally drained, it won't have enough power for the vehicle starter to turn the engine on. A good way to tell if the battery is what is causing a no start or no crank issue is that when you hear multiple clicks while trying to start the car and you can see the cluster lights on the dashboard flicker or dim when attempting to turn on the car, you may attempt jump starting your vehicle as a temporary solution. Additionally, ensure to inspect the battery connectors for corrosion, as this buildup can impede the flow of electricity. The second possible cause is relays and fuses. If any fuses related to the starting system are blown, it may prevent the vehicle from starting. Also, a faulty or corroded starter relay can prevent the power supply to the starter motor. If you have another relay in your car that's similar to the starter relay, you can try swapping them. If the starting issue gets resolved after the swap, you've found the problem. The third possible cause is a faulty neutral safety switch. Automatic transmissions have a neutral safety switch that prevents the engine from starting when the transmission is not in park or neutral. When attempting to start the car, if you see the dashboard lights and radio turn on but don't hear a crank, then it could be the neutral safety switch. In some situations, you'll be able to start your car in the neutral position. Now, if you have a manual transmission, you'll have a clutch safety switch instead. Let's move on to the ignition switch. The ignition switch is responsible for transferring electrical current to the starter motor. If it malfunctions, it can prevent the necessary signal from reaching the starter motor, leading to a situation where the engine fails to crank. The fifth component that can cause a no crank, no start is a faulty starter. The starter motor is responsible for initiating the engine's rotation, allowing the car to start. It can fail due to an internal electrical issue such as worn brushes or a faulty starter solenoid. The next potential cause for a no crank, no start is when you have a bad or malfunctioning anti-theft system. One feature of an anti-theft system is an immobilizer system that requires a specific transponder code type from the key or key fob to start the engine. So if there's an issue with the immobilizer, it simply won't recognize the correct code and so will not allow the engine to start. The sixth reason could be problems with the wires or connections. If the electrical wires are damaged or corroded, or if the connections are loose, it can stop the electricity from flowing and make the engine not start. Another reason could be if the engine gets stuck, got seized. If there's damage inside the engine that makes it seize up, the starter motor won't be able to turn the engine. So when you try to start the engine, nothing will happen. The last reason could be issues with the car's computer system. Though it's not very common, it's still worth considering. If any of the car's computers, like the ECM or BCM, aren't working right, they might give the wrong signals or stop communicating altogether. This could also cause the engine not to start. The ninth potential cause is wiring issues or loose connections. Electrical wiring problems such as damaged or corroded wires or loose connections can